Yo, what's up, everybody? Jumping here, and today I am back on some Marvel's Avengers, and I'm going to be showing you a crazy exploit that you can do. You can actually time travel. Now, I found out about this because I recently made a video, and it was about how you can get unlimited challenge points, and it's really quick if you want to max out your hero card. And somebody left a comment, and they said that there's another exploit you can do to reset your challenges every day, and they told me about this. And I think they might have mentioned you can do other stuff, but I went and looked into it, and then I realized, man, this is insane. This is broken. And I don't know if they can ever fix it because, and this is the funny part, this game does not go off its own clock. This game will go off of your own clock. So, for example, on the PlayStation, you have a console clock. You can change the clock, and the game will think it is that time. So you can change the year, you can change the month, you can change the day. So you can have all of the things that reset generally, daily, you can reset them anytime you want. Now, what I've noticed is that with the most recent patch, it seems like it's been made a lot better. Because if you remember, you couldn't pick up the daily missions from the factions, for example. It was all bugged out. And a lot of the bounties as well, you could pick up a bunch of them using this, but you couldn't pick them up as easily as you can now. So this is absolutely the best time to take advantage of this. And I'll show you exactly how to do it. But the things you can get from this is you can get an unlimited amount of Polychoron if you need to upgrade your exotic artifacts. You can get a ridiculous amount of Polychoron from doing this. You can repeatedly do the daily missions from the factions, and you can get a ridiculous amount of DNA keys, so you can get a lot of upgrade materials. That's really important. But also, you can get loot from this. Because you can mess with the vendors, you can actually put in certain dates and find certain pieces of loot. Now, I'm going to be giving you some dates that I found some really good loot. Now, the artifacts that I will give you, now this is on the PlayStation, could be different, but the artifacts that I have found, you should be able to actually find as well. I have given these dates to some of my friends. They've looked it up, and they've been able to find these minor artifacts, and it's been exactly the same. Now, some of the different gear pieces, like I have, for example, the only one I'm going to be showing, the best one I've ever found, is actually a Thor Melee weapon. And I'll be giving you the date for that as well. And I've had a couple friends be able to get it, no problem. It's exactly the same one that I see. But I've also had a couple friends who have seen some different stuff on it. So it could be different for you when it comes to that. But the artifacts will be the same. And hopefully you can also get this amazing Thor weapon that I found. And I'll be giving out those dates. But now, let's go ahead and talk about exactly how you can actually do this. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is you want to set your time to not be the current date when you log in initially. That's the only time you need to actually log in. You do not have to constantly just close your application on the PlayStation and start it back up. No, you only have to do it once. But make sure that when you actually do load in, it's not going to be on the current correct date if you really want to just mess with this. And I'll explain a little bit more, but what we're going to do is we're going to pick up all of the assignments and the villain sector, the daily mission. And now we're going to go to settings. We're going to scroll down to time and date, or date and time, and we're going to set manually. Now there is another option here to use the internet time. Now you can have this checked because this will only apply when you first log in. But at any point you can just set it and it will go off the internet time. But on the PlayStation, you can be online and actually have it set to whatever time you want. Where on the PC or the Xbox, maybe you have to be offline. So all we need to do is go one day down. This will reset all of these dailies. You never want to go up though, because if you go up, it will actually reset, okay? Because technically, if you look, this will expire in 7 hours. Okay, that's normal. So if I was to actually go up in time, it will actually get rid of all of them. Where if I go down in time, it will actually keep adding. I have had some of these assignments where it has said I've had 10,000 days to complete because I picked them up in the year 2050 and I went back to the year 2020. And by doing that, I have basically had 10,000 days to complete them. So that's just ridiculous. Now you only need to do this 4 times. And the reason why is because, from what I can tell, there are 30 different assignments for the Shield faction, and there are 30 different assignments for the Inhuman faction. And by the way, you can max out both of the factions to level 50. For some reason, my Inhuman went to level 51, which is kind of annoying to be honest, but it is something that happened to me, and I hope it doesn't happen to you because it is annoying. Every time I go to the anthill, it tells me that I have a reward that I can pick up, and I can't. And that's just kind of annoying. So just keep that in mind that can happen, I guess. But you can actually get them to 50 if that's something you want to do. And it will happen because you will blow through these. But the reason that you want to pick up basically 30 of these is because if you actually do get duplicates, and you can pick up the duplicates, so you can have like a bunch of the same ones. You can have duplicates as long as they are the other factions. So you can have, like, for example, get ranged kills or defeat enemies with ranged attacks. You can have that for the Inhumans and for the shield. But you cannot have double for shield. It will just basically, you can pick it up, but it will then like disappear out of your inventory. So you can only have 30, or I think there's only 30 total. So you only need to do it 4 times, and then you can move on to the Inhuman one and pick up 30 there, and then you can go and do them all, and you will just get an insane amount of experience for the faction and a ton of the Polychoron, and you will just be able to max out your exotic artifact in no time. Now, besides the factions, you can also mess with the vendors and find some crazy loot. And you could actually share some of these codes in the comments. If you find anything really crazy by picking a certain date, you could leave a comment and tell everyone else, and I would appreciate it as well. So I'm going to give you some dates right now, and this is from the Helicarrier. Obviously, if you go to the Anthill, it's different. But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a really good minor artifact for Valor and a really good one for Might. So the one that you need to get is going to be September 22nd, and this will be 2050. This will be the one for Might. And by the way, by putting it to 2050, all of my assignments will be taken away from me because they have all reset. Now, if I actually take a look at the vendor here, he's going to have a Might artifact. And this particular one has Might, double Might, and it actually adds up to be 92. That's pretty good. It gives you cooldown for your heroic assault, and it gives you 50% stun for heavy combo finishers. Heavy combo finishers, I really like them a lot on Miss Marvel. I like them on Thor. I like them on pretty much everybody. I really think heavy combo finishers are very good. And if you can stack these and get 100% stun damage for heavy combo finishers, and you have a little bit of intensity on top of that, you can basically stun everything so quick and do takedowns. These are extremely good. Now, I'm going to show you how to find the Valor one. Like I said, if you enter that date, the one I just gave you, September 22nd, 2050, and this might only be on PlayStation, but if you enter the date, you will be able to find that exact minor artifact. Now, I'm going to change one thing, and that's the year. I'm going to change it to 2025. So once again, it's September 22nd, 2025. And by the way, the time of day shouldn't matter at all if you are curious. Now he is going to have a Valor artifact. And guess what? It is literally the exact same one. The stats are a little bit worse, but it has charge rate for your heroic assault, and it also gives you that stun damage for your heavy combo finisher. Now, one thing I also want to state here, if you want to have 2 of any of these minor artifacts, like let's say you want 2 of this Valor one, you can get 2 of the exact same one. You can put this on every single one of your heroes if you want to. You can literally reset these, and the way to do that is generally just change the date. I would say go from 2050, the one I showed you. You can pick that one up if you want, then go back to 2025, pick this one up, change the date again, and you should be able to literally every single time pick this up. Keep buying this, and you can buy it on multiple heroes. You can get 2 on any given hero if you want. And like I said, if you guys find any other ones you think that you want to share, like maybe charge rate for ultimate, maybe power, attack, damage, things that people might be interested in for their builds, go ahead and leave the dates. Leave the dates in the comment, and I'll try them out for sure, and I would recommend everyone else to do the same. Now, I need to go to the anthill, and I'm going to show you where to find some really crazy Thor Melees, okay? I have 2 of them here that are both really good, and I've used them myself, and I really like them a lot. They could maybe be slightly better, but I really do think they're extremely good. And if you're looking for a really good Thor Melee, you definitely want to get these. So I'm going to cut this ahead. I am going to go to the anthill, and I'll show you how you can get these melees for Thor. Alrighty, now check this out. You see how I have that little thing over her head? It's telling me that I can get a reward. And every time I come here, it will tell me a faction reward is available. That is because my faction is level 51, because it's bugged out. So I'm just warning everyone about that. That it's something I guess that can happen. It's happened to me. It sucks. Now, I'm going to show you the date for this Thor Melee. And remember, when it comes to this, the minor artifacts will be the same. If you're on the PlayStation, they will definitely be the same. Every one of my friends I've given the date to, and they went and checked, have been able to get the minor artifacts. Now, half of my friends have been able to get this melee, for example, and half of my friends have not been able to get this melee. So this part is a little bit more random. Luckily, I actually have 2 of these for you. The first one is September 5th, 2022. And I'm going to show you this one because, to me, this is like the holy trinity, first of all, of stats. It's got might, it's got valor, it's got proficiency. That is great. That's what you would really want for maximum offense. Next up, you can get this PIM payload on critical attacks. Now, if you don't know about this, I don't really want to explain the whole deal, but there is battery damage, which I think the game calls it exploit damage, but you have to combine the positive and the negative elements together. So an example is PIM particles and plasma are your positives, and then you have shock, you have gamma, and you have cryo. Those are all your negatives. And if you can combine the 2 together, you're going to get this lime green number, which is your battery damage or your exploit damage. So what's really great, especially on Thor, is if you can somehow deliver plasma or PIM particle. And I personally think that one of the best ways of doing that is getting one of these melees, where you have a 30% chance on a critical of shooting out a PIM payload, because that is like guaranteed to shrink the target down when that triggers. And I like to do signature attacks when I'm doing it, because if you are doing his signature, if you are getting some crits, you are going to be shooting out those PIM payloads, and you are going to be getting that battery damage. It is insane. And with this one, the signature attacks deal shock damage. That would have been probably better if maybe you could have gotten plasma or PIM, just because with Thor, at any point, you can just do shock. But still, not bad. And then, of course, the other one is more critical attack damage. And this is what a lot of people are looking for on Thor. They want to get that perk. And there you go. I mean, this is a god roll. So if you want to try to get this, enter the code. And this is kind of like cheat codes. Enter the code. Hopefully you will see this exact one. And if you don't, that's a bummer. But I do have one other code, okay? So let's pull it back up. And let's go ahead and enter our next cheat code. Now this one is to February 1st, 2022. Same year, okay? And let's take a look at this one. This one is basically the exact same deal. The only difference is it's a 4-star, so it's a little bit worse, but the stats are higher. If you actually pay attention to the might and the valor and the proficiency, those are higher. But because it's 4 stars, you are going to get less critical attack damage, and the PIM payload is slightly worse. Very slightly worse, but it is worse. And this one, it's when it says light signatures, I don't know why it does that, but it's the same deal, basically. It does gamma. So instead of it doing shock, it does gamma. That's really your only difference, but both of these are basically the same, and they're both extremely, extremely good. I have used these on my Thor, and man, like I said, especially if you are doing the signatures, it is insane on how consistent that PIM payload is. And whenever that goes off, you are going to be getting the battery damage. It is super, super good. I really highly recommend these. I wish I had more codes I could give you, but like I said, if you guys can find things using this little exploit, leave it in the comments. I think everybody would want to. It doesn't matter what hero it is. I play all of them. So if you find something for Iron Man or Captain America, let me know. I am interested. But I wanted to share this with you to tell anyone who might not know that they can do this. Definitely take advantage of it, because you definitely want to max out all of your major artifacts if you can. That's great. But also, you want to get some really good minor artifacts, and you also want to get some good gear. Alrighty guys, well that's going to do it for this video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and that this has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos and make sure to click the bell if you want to stay notified. That's super important on YouTube now, so click that bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.